Hello, this is Wojciech Pietrzak again, and welcome to the first game of the new season of ITSL. My first opponent, Peter Heuvelman from the Netherlands. You could watch already at least 2 games between us on my channel. And now we start the new season. The new season is much tougher than the previous ones. So I have to be careful and, well, play good against the weak players, not to lose points, because it will be terribly tough to grab them against the strong players. Peter is rather not a strong player, however, he once beat Ziemowit, so he's certainly not a free victory giver. Standard opening. I'm not sure about the headline, but I think if containment, then blockade to be discarded with what? Probably Olympic Games. So it's gonna be wasted somewhat for NATO. But I don't have better headlines, plus I'll have to counter RSP if it comes. And it makes my hand very strong. I could even hold NATO, space blockade, play UN for ops. But as blockade probably returns sooner or later, I'd like to have it gone. UN will be played for ops. A giveaway of the China card this early doesn't look very good and tells me something about his hand or about his skills. He was of course very unlucky to roll only a 1 in Iran. So I'm immediately taking the option of getting into Pakistan and reclaiming Middle East. If he doesn't coup Pakistan, I should coup Egypt. If he does and fails, by failure I mean he doesn't control it, I should control it directly, otherwise I should probably risk Indo-Paki. He played here, but I think this wasn't the best, because now if I move to Malaysia, DEFCON is still at 4. So if he coups, I get Thailand, and if he doesn't and grabs Thailand, I get a coup with a boosted hand. This is the blockade time, because I only need 2 ops, 1 to crawl through India and 1 to attack Thailand. course, this play was possible only because I knew he didn't have duck and cover, because I played it. Because now duck and cover into Thailand, or previously duck and cover instead of the goal to coup Malaysia, would be a great move. On the contrary, what he played was to some point a waste of ops. He gave me the China card. Okay. He failed with this one. Unfortunately, this is gonna be an empty event. And well, now I'm facing the same dilemma which he had faced. I wouldn't like to play Indo-Paki now. On the other hand, I would like to take Pakistan and India, but what to do with the fourth point? No Thailand, because it's too easy couable. If Thailand, then all in. Maybe that's the way to play it. Or 4 to Thailand. He doesn't have much chance to coup it, to control it. Only 1 in a 6 provided he has a 4. And I'll be able to take Thailand otherwise. And then quite securely coup somewhere to gain Milops and lower Defcon, because now I'd like the Defcon to be lowered somehow. Of course, the best I could have would be a totally failed Thailand coup from him now, which could be responded by me by UN intervention coupping Egypt. He's not rolling high so far, 1, 3 and 2, but well, coupping is always coming with a downside risk. And he keeps coupping. And he keeps rolling poorly. It was even better than a failed Thailand roll, but I didn't think he was really going to coup Panama now. Okay, Defcon dropped to 2, so Indo-Pakistani war can be played for ops. Too bad I hadn't cleared Egypt, but I rolled a 3, which is the best he achieved. Thailand is secured enough against Vietnam revolts, so secure Panama, take Pakistan and India, and maybe control France. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exactly what I have. Maybe it would be wise to go to Laos, Cambodia. What's the best way to secure Panama? There are 3 in general: Panama, Colombia and Costa Rica. All have their pros and cons. Ugh, that is nasty to some point. And he nicely tricked me into lowering DEFCON. Okay, so I don't like to take a chance on it. Sorry. I don't like to take a chance on this. And I'd like to dominate Asia now. And if he responds, if he doesn't respond in the Middle East and doesn't take a bunch of Asian, I mean Burma and Laos, Cambodia at least, I may be able to dominate all the three regions right before the next turn when no scoring was played. Of course, in this case I won't be securing Panama, but this is suddenly not as much important. I think he completely misplayed this turn. First of all, he wasn't degrading DEFCON despite having decal. Decal can be played sometimes with DEFCON at 4, but hardly ever effectively with DEFCON at 3. Of course, my hand was much better than his. On the other hand, he had decal, he got rid of the independent Reds. Okay, Indo-Pakistani war, and I have 3. So dominate Europe. And is it worth to break Egypt? What are the alternatives? Boost domination in Asia by taking India. Secure it to some point by taking Laos, Cambodia. Overprotect France. Against socialist governments or Suez crisis. I think overprotecting France is the best to deny him takeover by socialists. Well, Suez, followed by direct 4-ops placement here. And as I have the China card, India is not as urgent as Laos, Cambodia. Yeah, it's very possible that I would play similarly against a player like Sankt or even Janusz Schulz, whom I will meet eventually. I got 2 scorings, it's Asia and Europe. I got Suez, but I didn't get socialist governments, so Europe is not a safe play. What is a safe play? Is Asia a safe play? I think it is, but I think it can't be stopped. Even if he plays Vietnam revolts, he should be too short to stop my taking India, the Philippines, Afghanistan. If necessary, even South Korea can be risked. So against socialist governments, I think the best way is to headline Marshall Plan. I can be purged, okay, but even then I can play captured Nazis, space, maybe even twice. I have to play 2 scorings. This would be probably spaced anyway, so it effectively affects only one of my cards. I mean 5-year plan. I won't have too many options to put ops, and maybe I'll have to play the China card. Okay, this is painful to some point. Especially if he takes Pakistan. This hurts because knowing that I have 2 scorings gives him huge power. On the other hand, he won't be very DEFCON secure. If he takes Pakistan with overprotection, I will not be able to score domination in Asia unless I risk South Korea or waste into Japan. But I will be able to score Europe. And actually, that is the best he can do. Just take Pakistan. If he takes it without over-control, I can simply retake it with the China card, ignoring for a moment the fact that I have to play 2 scorings and I don't have too many cards to gain ops from. Maybe I could even, in this case, hold both red cards. If he over-controls Pakistan, there is a slight risk that he can dominate Asia. And I should ask myself a question whether I can allow it or not. Not allowing it means taking India before he takes a bunch of countries. Allowing it means coupping Angola, grabbing 2 victory points, maybe 4 if he doesn't have Arab-Israeli war or Korean war, or maybe forcing him to play the Korean war and give me the result of it. But he's coupping. He cleared Panama. But he left Asia open. No 5-year planning. Special relationship. I don't need the 3rd op now. I need to know where I need it later. For example, I may need it to counter the socialist government's play in the middle of the 3rd. Other than socialist governments, he can't really make damage in Europe. He can take a bunch of countries, but he has to pay 2 ops for each one. I can respond by paying only 1 for Turkey, Spain, Portugal, Canada, and I'm already 2 countries ahead. So it's very improbable that he stops my European domination unless I'm getting lack of action rounds. He's like giving up Asia because this is simply exchanging 1 country for 1 country and making me, well, much less vulnerable to Korean war than I was. Okay, cashing points. course I was lucky to draw these two scorings, especially if he doesn't have Middle East. The only scoring he's not losing is not coming now. The two scorings giving points to me are coming now. Okay, Truman Doctrine. I think this is most secure. I think let's cash these points first. These are more certain, of course. I'm informing him more about my hand. Now if I play Europe scoring and successfully space Suez Crisis, my last move is somewhat tricky. Because of course the most conservative way of play would be to play 5-year plan. Hold distal, space it on turn 3 and be happy the opponent doesn't get it. But it would be tempting to space distal and hope for him drawing CIA and for some 5-year plan headline. On the other hand, he probably is gonna be able to just headline CIA or play it on turn 1, seeing me not headlining duck and cover. Summarizing, I think the conservative play would be the best. Spacing East European unrest. I don't think it was good. East European unrest is pretty harmless. Okay, 14 ops, 14 victory points. I will lose 2 here, but even then I should be close to auto victory as soon as on turn 3 as USA. Of course he can contest Middle East, and if he does, there's almost nothing I can do about it. Some quite game-changing cards hadn't appeared so far. He started as if he was hearing me. Like Red Scare Purge, for example. Socialist governments can be nasty as well. Not as nasty as in real life, but still. Korean War, Arab-Israeli War, all these cards may give him some points. Indo-Pakistani War, it's never safe. Vietnam revolts. Oh, he had this one. Okay, so I think I'm gonna break his domination here. Well, I have to play conservatively because I failed in spacing. And one more point. Mexico is not the best idea ever. Too good as a coup target. This country is sooner or later nice. Better use it now than later. I got CIA, so it's quite annoying. I got a very red hand, which is even more annoying. And he got Red Scare Purge, which is the most annoying. So I'll have to probably just bite the bullet and play most of these cards. Distal is the obvious space race. Deagle is quite playable and self-reparable, so socialist government's another space race or hold card. Romanian abdication, I can live with this. Korean War, I have to live with this. Has Vietnam revolts. He can grab me a lot of map. Let's headline this to have it gone. No red scaring purging me, but okay, if he rolls a 5 now, it's crippling, but he rolled a 3. He is really unlucky rolling, and this may indicate that he really has Asia scoring. Now, as I have CIA, I can play the China card to not be forced to play the other nasty cards. He's going a run, I suppose. Yeah, this time successfully, so it was a very good choice of headline on my side. Okay, but what exactly should I do now? Probably should take care of some military points. So let this go. And he for once rolled quite well. If I'm able to play this hand with not too much harm on the board and without playing the China card, this would be really nice. I assume he's holding Red Scar Purge, but maybe he's gonna use the power of strong hand. The goal is now worth 2 points, because it only needs 1 to be self-repaired. So he's playing the entire hand. And he is contesting Asia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He would have to take 7. And he needs 1, 2, 3, 4 to equalize Asia. And he has Vietnam revolts, if I remember correctly. Okay. So one thing I could do now would be to over-control France, another to be able to play the goal completely free and, for example, take Indonesia. Another would be to crawl here, searching for some mill-ups. I think I'll do the latter one, because I simply need to play my low-ups cards. If he coups, my answer is quite obvious and easy. Counter with the Cambridge 5. Otherwise, I'm probably contesting Asia. Maybe even ignoring Europe for a while. For example, if he plays Red Scar Purge here, here and twice here, I'm thinking about playing the goal to take Indonesia or to take Taiwan, because what he can't afford is losing Asian points. He played Vietnam revolts, so I don't have to take Vietnam now. I can do it at any moment with Romanian abdication. Now I took a battleground and I set up a realignment against Algeria with +1 with the goal which is free to play because it doesn't need a reparation. I also freed myself to play the goal to take Indonesia. I think he doesn't respond to my threats correctly. Okay, I'm totally off both Americas. I didn't have time, I didn't have ops. I also misplayed it in my mind by telling what he could do here. Because he didn't have access to Vietnam, he could only get there by Vietnam revolts. Of course, it is possible that he has decall, but I'm not counting this seriously because I really can't help the effects of him playing decall. The best news is Middle East is gone, and he has nowhere else to grab points back. Well, okay, Africa, 2. But 2 is not so much comparing to Asia and Europe. Of course, Asia and Europe, and even Southeast Asia, is not enough for me to win. If I lose 2 here, 2 with the military operations, and maybe even 4 with OPEC. But still, he doesn't get D-Star. His only access gainer to South and Central America remains Junta, Liberation Theology, and I was about to say Fidel, but he just played it, giving me a coup target. I just got everything by this move. I rolled good enough, but now you see how important it was to over-control France thrice. Yeah, I like the word thrice. Now I got only a single op to play, Romanian abdication, plus a space race attempt. Or 2 space race attempts. And he has Red Scare Purge, and I don't know whether I should know about his remaining card. Perhaps I could keep track of the cards in some better way, but I'm just too lazy to do it. I'll do my best to do it against some better opponent. And he ended up using Red Scare Purge to coup a 1-stab non-battleground in Africa. Okay, he dominates Africa now, yeah. But if this wasn't a waste, what would be? And yeah, this was the great moment to roll a6. Of course, Korean War was also a great moment to roll a6, and yes, he had Asia scoring. But now, upon a successful roll, I'm 16 victory points ahead as USA at the beginning of the mid-war. What a great hand it is. What a great hand it is. It's not reach by any means. But first of all, I may completely deny him anything in Africa by colonial rearguards, and then I have the Voice of America, I have OAS, I have Che, which is quite easily manageable at this stage. I won't be defecting him. I think colonial rearguards is exactly what I need now. Okay, I'm giving him a coup target, a juicy one, but he has Nigeria anyway. And upon cooing, on cooing, he's giving up one more battleground, and he may be thinking about giving up two battlegrounds because he doesn't know I don't have any 4. What is more, I may take Algeria, even with Che, hoping for him to, for example, he coos Nigeria, I take Algeria, hoping for him to take Zaire and Algora without over control, and then playing the Voice of America with deadly effect. And then OAS and start crawling into South America. OAS probably to Brazil and Argentina, because I have access here via Panama Canal returned, and here directly. Comic-Con influence. So he left a coup for me. I'm gonna make use of this one. I only rolled a 1, which looks fair after every roll he failed in this game so far. I'll keep the Voice of America for now, just in case he has some junta or Allende. Or maybe not. He's really playing heavily into Africa. Okay. Let's make him look or feel stupid a little. Not Angola due to South African unrest and Portuguese Empire crumbles. And of course, if he now flips Zaire...
Hello? Hi guys. Yeah,
I probably have to play Che.
Okay.
And reflip Zaire, yeah. He's playing so heavily to Africa that I'm just going to not losing Africa. Okay, I gave him Milops, which he could forget otherwise. Okay, it's still his turn, but he doesn't have any other targets. Now it's my turn.
Okay.
He may even lose the count of action rounds. He's going to be left with 2 cards, because he had played the China card.
There are 2 ways to upload them. The customer, there are 2 ways to upload the poster to the
this really starts looking promising.
Which I observed in
5-year plan to boost Nigeria, Zaire and South America.
I'm not sure if this is the case.
Then maybe defect or even Romanian abdication to realign Angola. +1. Oh, he had Africa scoring.
There is no track for that?
So let's go here.
Yeah, this is Polish, and it says
with a little bit of luck I may be even scoring kitchen debates. It's +1 in Europe, +2 in Asia, -1 in Middle East, 0 in Africa, so I'm only 1 behind. With South America I may be 1. Okay, not any longer.
Polish in the comments and descriptions. This shouldn't be so.
I may be equalizing the number of battlegrounds. He's taking Brazil when I'm taking South Africa. So probably, okay, South America scoring is what he had. This is worth anyway to create a threat. On the other hand,
So
isn't
the
defectors a better threat?
No pictures visible, no poster visible.
Nah,
For the end customers.
defectors is not gonna provide points. So +1, +3, -1, -1, -1, 0. Okay, we're even. No, we're not even. Really?
I would go to the
+1,
produce PA.
-3. +2 is -1. Oh, I'm +1 here, so this is 0. Okay, so this is the great summary of this.
Check the sea change.
Oh, and what I said about China card. He had played the China card and miscalculated.
That's a good question.
Europe scoring in hand, so it didn't really matter. So I was a better player and I was also a luckier player. Thank you for watching, see you next time, and let's hope this is the lucky beginning of the lucky ITSL season for me. See you in the next games.